Eddie Brock is learning some dark and horrible secrets of the Venom symbiote that he wishes he could forget. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Venom issue number 8 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, Eddie is at the grave of Flash Thompson. Eddie technically attended the funeral, but because the symbiote has been deleting memories from his mind in order to protect him, he doesn't recall. Jeez, I wish I got some memories a Clintar suit could delete from my mind, like, oh, I don't know, paying money to see the Venom movie. While it pains Eddie to say so out loud, he has to admit what everyone has been saying all this time, and that is that Flash Thompson was indeed the better Venom, the superior hero, and even now the suit is trying to reach out to him. Of course, none of this is really happening. Eddie is still the prisoner of the Maker, who is trying to get to the bottom of whether or not Eddie had a hand in stealing a piece of the God symbiote from the Shadow group that hired the Maker. Ultimate Reed Richards is also an arrogant jerkwad and just wants to lord over Eddie how much he was able to learn about his beloved alien costume in a short amount of time. Like, every time a symbiote joins with someone, it ends up imprinting on them, kinda like a fingerprint, but this relationship is a two-way street, meaning that if the Maker could get his hands on a piece of the godlike ancient dragon symbiote, then he could figure out all sorts of things about the birth of life in the universe. By tracing back all the people and worlds it touched over the billions of years before the dawn of creation. Maker came to this hypothesis after picking up a small piece of Flash Thompson's DNA that was kept on ice by the government. Oh sure, say what you want about governmental super soldier programs, 9 times out of 10 they fall apart, but they keep such good records, don't they? But to truly test this theory though, Maker is going to need more Flash Thompson, so the plan is to dig up his corpse and poke it a little bit. This causes Eddie and his partially brain-dead alien suit to fly into a rage. They're not going to let anyone disturb Flash Thompson's rest, he's suffered enough. And it's right around here that things start to get crazy. You see, Eddie makes a beeline for the exit only to run smack dab into a bunch of Maker's security brandishing sonic guns. In the kerfuffle, if I may be so bold as to use a Canadian word, the vial holding Flash Thompson's genetic information ends up getting broken and sucked up by the symbiote. This ends up doing two truly amazing things. First and foremost, it allows Eddie to turn his costume into the Agent Venom costume, which I think we can all agree is a great costume. But secondly, and this one is huge, because the symbiote had its own personality burned away in the fight with Null, Flash Thompson's personality is kind of allowed to just hop on in and fill the void like plugging a USB into a big computer. That means instead of hearing the regular symbiote voice in his head, Eddie is now hearing Flash's voice, like his ghost is quite literally haunting him. But not like in a bad The Grudge kind of way, like in a cool ghost kind of way. They're gonna do pottery next. After escaping the bad guys, Eddie plans to visit Flash's grave for real this time, say his goodbyes, and once again talk about how he was a better Venom than him, but at the same time he's now more inspired than ever to live up to his memory. What's the next stop for Venom? Well, San Francisco. It seemed that that's the place the suit took Eddie when he was all hurt and he can't remember why. Perhaps he'll find the answers he seeks in the only other city that was home besides New York. And hey, while we're on the subject of answers to questions, whatever did become of that missing piece of the God symbiote? Well, as the comic winds down, a hooded figure hands it over to another hooded figure who we discover is actually the leader of, get this, the Cult of Carnage. And they want to use this piece's power to bring back their god, Cletus Cassidy. And so that was Venom for you, everybody, and once again, just when I thought I had my finger on the pulse of where this book was going and what it was going to do next, it completely changes things up. I dare say Donny Cates actually continues to do the impossible, and that is make me actually sympathize with Eddie Brock by this issue basically coming out and saying that, yeah, he is the universe's number 2 pick. Flash was actually the chosen one, the one was supposed to put everything right, the important one, and really Eddie is just trying to pick up the pieces and stay alive in his honor. I also positively love the idea of the Venom symbiote being able to morph into old versions of itself after coming into contact with different people's DNA. Lots of people have worn the Venom suit over the years, and I hope they capitalize on this. Overall, I'd give this one an 8 out of 10. Some really fun stuff going on in this book.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, did you know, outside just making great weekly comic videos, I'm also on several comic book podcasts, some of which are very popular. There's the Weekly Pull, which the shirt I'm wearing right now. That one goes every other Tuesday. Then there's the Elseworlds Exchange over on the Comic Pop channel. That's every Wednesday around 3 to 5, give or take. And then how could I possibly forget the Comic Multiverse, the show hosted by myself and Matt of Fortress of Solitude. That one goes live on this channel every Wednesday at 8, and also SoundCloud and iTunes later on. Be sure to check out and subscribe to those if you haven't already. I assure you, you won't be mistaken.